It's that time. It's video time. Well, after playing softball this weekend, we have seen the light of teams who have shined and teams who have fallen from grace. With Ramadan approaching, everyone can enjoy their break for a month. No softball for Sundays except for people who are making up a lot of games. And we'll get into that a little later on in another video. But right now, let's get into some scores. Shaw's versus Wolfpack at Torpy, I believe. A makeup game that was played on Friday night. Wolfpack in desperate need of getting some wins here, and they did not find it against Shaw's. Shaw's came out winning 16-2 and 20-1. More bad news for Shaw for Invictus or for Wolfpack coming up later in this video. Before I get into the scores for Sunday, I would like to send thoughts and prayers to Warren of Hitman. I heard he injured his wrist, broke it or snapped it, and he had some surgery on it. So I'm sure everyone in the league hopes for a very speedy recovery and hope to see you back on the playing field as soon as possible. That being said, let's get into the Hitman versus Channel 4 game. First game, 28-10, a barn burner shellacking there, and 16-15. So Hitmen sweeps, which basically solidifies them in the, like I said, the 1, 2, 3 in their division. Channel 4 basically guaranteeing themselves now as a wild card. A dangerous wild card team, but a wild card team nonetheless. Another big divisional game in that division, No Sign versus Legends. And these must have been really good games because final scores were 11-10 and 8-7. Now, when Legends were missing a bunch of players, and you know how I feel about that. I really don't care if you're missing players because that's why you have a full team, and not having players is not an excuse. So let's go on to what could have been the upset of the century. SWAT took on Decepticons. Now SWAT basically just needs to put it on cruise control and just get through the last few games, and they're the #1 seed in their division. Coming up against a Decepticons team who, like I said, play with no fear, and Z was back. I'm not sure if it was the first or second game, but it came down to a 13-12 win for SWAT. And I heard at one point Decepticons were up 11-2. So, yes, your season's over, but you know what? That's awesome. I mean, I wish I stayed for the game, but I was very badly beaten. We'll get into that later on. So, I mean, shout out to the Decepticons. Like I said, you still lost, but you know what? It must have been one hell of a game to be at. Second game, 33-4. That's okay. That's okay. There's always next season. Let's finish off strong. That's all you got to do. Let's go to Wild and G-Men, a game that had basically no real inherent value for a gentleman's club. I mean, if they win one game, they're basically in. But now since Wolfpack is kind of falling apart, they will get the wild card here. That being said, I think they had like 7 or 8 guys. Again, not an excuse. I mean, you're in a playoff position here, and you can't get 8 guys. You can't get 9 or 10 guys to show up. You only have 8 guys to show up for some games. It's pathetic. Wild takes care of business 31-14, and then I'm not sure if this is a typo, but 37-0. So that must have been a really fun game to be playing in. Whatever side you're on, I mean, you're on the winning side who beats the crap out of a team, and that's not even fun. Or you're on the other team who scores, 14 runs in 2 games, gets blanked, 37 runs in the next one. I mean, that ain't fun. I mean, you got to bring your teams together here. I mean, if not, just don't even bother showing up. It would have been a lot easier for everybody. Anyway, Wild wins, and they play basically another rematch game next week. So let's hope that Sammy can get his troops there. Then we go to Invictus versus Wolfpack. Like I said, a game where Wolfpack desperately needed a split here. They didn't get it because they lost 20-0 and 31-3 against an Invictus team that had 9 guys, and they took care of business. Their stats were just redonkulous. I think in both games they battled over 790. So Wolfpack played basically 4 games this weekend, scoring 6 runs. Not going to win a lot of softball games doing that. Not going to win. I mean, I understand if you have bad defense or not a great defense, but you know what? It's still slow pitch softball. You should still score runs. I don't care if you lose 20-25. You should score more than 6 runs in 4 games. I'm not a mathematician, That's like 1.2 runs a game. Back to your game of the week, though. The rematch of the Week 1 revenge game. Shaw's versus Aftermath at Torpy. 9 a.m. game. We're missing Bassa. He's at Yankee Stadium. We got Travis bringing the family down to Disneyland. We got John missing, who has sliced his fingers open. BZ wasn't there. No Yee. So we had a very, very, very cookie-cutter defense put together. I mean, Jarrett was at second, not his normal position, but he stepped it up over there. Big Vic was in the outfield, not his normal position, but he was out there. Dusty playing left field, not his position, but we needed him there. And like Rafiq said it in his post, it was not a very clean game. It was, you can't blame it on the ground being hard. You can't blame it. I mean, all we did was just, we dropped balls, we didn't catch balls, we didn't hit our cutoffs, we didn't do anything right on defense. That being said, we still have offense. I mean, we still have home run hitters. We still have Rafiq. We still have Cruz. We still have Bobby. We still have, God, who else hit home runs? That's right. I hit a home run. It was amazing. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a few more seconds. But first game, and they're both really great games on both sides. 19-16, and then 12-11. So that being said, let's get into Macaro's big day. Probably best performance since 2009 or 2010 when I put up 18 runs against Wolfpack. This is probably my best game ever. So the wind was slightly blowing out a little bit. I mean, you know what? It was blowing in. It was blowing in just a little bit. It was actually blowing in a little bit. It was my second at bat in the first game. I recently have been doing more elliptical at the gym with my trainer John. And he said, you want to hit home runs? It's all in the legs. Do more elliptical. And I was like, that's crazy. I'm gonna do more elliptical today though. So I got up there and I'm using the Aftermath, sponsored by Aftermath. And we already have had 3 home runs. So my intention was not to hit a home run at this point. It was just put the ball in the ground. But you know what? When you have that God-given ability to hit home runs, sometimes you just can't control it. And I held that bat. And it felt like, if you've ever held lightning in your hands before, that's what it felt like. And when that pitch came in, and I swung, it was like thunder. It was like sparks shot out of that bat. And it felt amazing. I rotated those hips. And that ball was, it was a good shot. My first home run was, a little left of the scoreboard. So maybe like 275. And nothing great to talk about. Wait, did you say your first home run? So you hit another home run? Yeah. Actually, the next at bat, we were over the home run limit. And this lollipop pitch comes in. And I crushed it. And I'm not talking like a cheap Torpy home run. I'm talking I hit like a mini Travis home run. Like, I launched that ball. And I didn't even care. I was like, you know what? I don't even care. Fast forward to the very next game. I get it with bases low the first inning. I was trying to hit a home run, but I was a liner to shortstop. Buy him in the 5-hole, scores 2 runs. Next at bat, I come up with a runner, 2 runners on, I think it was. Sure enough, again. Now this was almost dead center, this shot. And I'm telling you, if you ever played golf, you can have like those really bad rounds, and that one shot that is all that really matters. And I got it, dead center almost, and I ran those bases like Brett Gardner was hustling a triple, because I've never hit a home run before. I have no home run trot. I don't know what to do. And I ran those bases as fast as I could. I got the home plate. So in between that, I'm pitching, and a line drive comes right back at me. And when you're pitching, you don't have a whole lot of time to react to these things. And it hit me right directly in the wrist. And my 3 fingers just went numb. And as I looked around on the ground, which I thought my hand would be on the ground, I see the ball there. And I run to the ball, and I pick it up with my bare left hand, my right hand, because I've dropped the glove at this point because I was in such pain. And I flick it to first base and I get the out. Then I kind of grimaced around in pain for a few minutes. But that's not the worst thing. Then I'm coaching third base the very next at bat, and Cruz is up. And I guess Cruz didn't bring his pine tar that day. swings, lets go of the bat on a fly, crushes me in the left leg, and I drop like a sack of potatoes. It actually hurt more than getting hit in the hand, actually did. And I didn't look at it, but I have a picture on Facebook. There was a knot on my foot, on my shin, like a softball size. It was gross. Now, that being said, we come to the bottom of the 7th inning. There's 1 out. We're tied up at 11. And yours truly is up. And I remember the pitcher goes, "What do you think about getting a walk-off home run?" And I replied to him, "Nah, dude. I'm just trying to rip the ball past your third baseman." And as the pitch came in, everything stopped. Slow motion. Like having a car accident. You remember every little thing. I remember where the wind was coming, the sun was out, the birds were chirping. I had a sixth sense at that point. And us home run hitters, you know when you're just locked in. And I saw a ball coming, I go, that ball is out of here. And I freaking swing. Thunder arose from the bat, like Zeus Almighty had given me this bat. Cruz actually handed it to me though, just like Zeus though. And it's going, and I see the left fielder tracking it. 171.5, baby. Walk off home run to win the game. My first home run ever actually turned into my first multi-hit home run ever. My first walk-off home run ever. And after having my assistant in the office do some backlogging, I found out that I'm actually the only player ever in Jams to hit his first home run, hit 3 home runs in one day, and one of those home runs, the walk-off with 1 out in the month of June before Ramadan. Put it in the record books, people. People talk about heroes. And trust me, I'm no hero. Alright? I'm no hero by any means. Your firemen, your policemen, your teachers, your mentors, your armed forces, those are your heroes. I'm just a guy playing softball, baby. And if my performance that day possibly motivated a young child to be like, you know what, Dad, I wanted to be the president or an astronaut or something really important when I grow up. But you know what? I want to play slow pitch softball on Sunday mornings right here in this field. I want to be just like that guy who just hit that home run. I want to be that guy rounding the base with a smile from ear to ear, baby. That's what I want to be when I grow up. Enjoy your break, everybody. And remember, dreams do come true. If you work hard enough, they do come true. So happy.